¿Qué tal? Buenas tardes. Bueno, pues ya vamos por la última sesión, gracias a Dios. Es un gusto tenerlos aquí. Y bueno, tengo el honor de presentarles al director de marketing de Chrome, Campbell Foster, que nos honra con el honor de venir a México y podernos presentar todo lo que es acerca de Chrome. Él es, como les mencionaba, el director de mercadotecnia para negocios y encabeza los esfuerzos para impulsar la adopción de Chrome en compañías, escuelas y agencias gubernamentales. Le damos un fuerte aplauso a Campbell. Gracias, Campbell.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hola. My name is Campbell Foster. I'm a product marketing manager from Google. So thank you all for coming to the last session of the last day. I know that some of you might be a little bit tired from the last couple of days, but I hope you're energized by what you've seen. Some fun stuff at Google the last couple of days. It's been pretty good, right? Pretty fun. So we're going to talk about three things today. We're going to talk about a brief history of the web browser. We're going to talk about the Chrome browser in the context of businesses and organizations, including governments. And we're going to talk about Chromebooks toward the end. So really quickly, I just want to take a quick survey. By show of hands, how many people work for a company or a government agency with more than 50 people? More than 50, so most of the audience, more than 500? More than 5,000. So some folks, big, you didn't raise your hand when I said 50. So you're more than 5,000. And how many people use the Chrome browser as their default browser? Good answer, folks. Good answer. I like it. That's great. That's great to hear. So thank you. So to provide some context for today's discussion, I wanted to take a brief walk through recent internet history. So this is a timeline of, sorry, I've got two decks going here. So I'm Campbell, easy way to remember my name. Feel free to shout it out. Hi, Campbell. So to provide some context, I wanted to give a brief history of the web browser. So this is a timeline of the web browser from 1991 to 2011. And along the y-axis, from bottom to top, you have all of the major browsers: Mosaic, Netscape, Opera, Internet Explorer, Safari, Firefox, and Chrome. Now this slide is a lot to digest, I realize, but I wanted to call your attention to a few key concepts because collectively they lay the foundation for Chrome as we know it today. And it really starts in 1993 with the introduction of the basic graphical user interface. This is with Mosaic. Next is the concept of innovation and rapid release cycles. And you really saw this in the mid-1990s as Internet Explorer and Netscape Navigator were trying to outdo each other. Next, you see the rise of the browser built on open source software in the late 1990s. This is Mozilla, out of which evolved the Firefox browser. And finally, you have WebKit, which came around in 2003. This is Apple's proprietary, it was originally proprietary, was later released as open source, graphics rendering engine. And this is the graphics tool that Chrome is built on today. So going back to 1991, here you see the World Wide Web. This was the name of the first browser, okay? No spaces. They later changed the name to Nexus to avoid confusion with the World Wide Web with spaces. Confusing, right? And this is the next operating system. This evolved into the Mac operating system later on. And this is really where it all begins, even before the browser had a graphical UI. In sum, we've really come a long way to get to where we are. And today, with modern browser technology, organizations can be a lot more productive. In addition to business efficiencies, which we're going to talk about, you can also do some cool stuff and have some fun along the way. It's pretty cool, right? This is all done completely inside a web browser. The band is called OK Go. Who here has seen this? Yeah, so this was actually released in Japan a couple of weeks ago. So this leads to the next question. Why did Google launch a browser in the first place? I mean, why did we do this? In 2008, we looked around and saw that there was very little innovation in the browser. The web was evolving, but browsers really weren't. So we wanted to take 20 years of internet history and really learn from what worked, abandon what didn't, and deliver a better user experience through the browser. So what have we learned over the past 20 years? What really works for browsers? Well, a few things. Less is more, a simple UI. Rapid release cycles and competition. Competition is good for innovation. Open source software. Chromium is the model that Chrome is built on. WebKit layout engine, in addition to other modern web technologies like WebM, WebGL, Canvas, HTML5, JavaScript. Mix in a little Google engineering, focus on the end user, and you've got the modern browser that is Chrome. In sum, we launched Chrome to make the web better. And consumers seem to think that we're doing an okay job. Over the past year, we've grown from 70 million users in 2010 to 160 million today. And we've also really been able to push innovation forward and really accelerate the web. We're now in our 14th release, and the past year has seen the rollout of key new features, including more powerful plugins, integrated editing features like drag and drop and cut and paste, and faster performance with the release of Crankshaft, which is the latest version of our V8 graphics rendering engine. Now, historically, Chrome has been developed with end users in mind. One thing that you hear at Google is focus on the user. So Google employees, you always hear users, users, users. Focus on the users. But in talking to our customers across all areas of the business, DoubleClick, AdWords, AdSense, Google Apps, we uncovered strong demand for a better business class browser and deep dissatisfaction with the status quo. So he said, why limit the power of Chrome to consumers when the market is asking us, companies are asking us to package this browser for companies? So we enhanced Chrome to serve the needs of organizations and launched Chrome for Business in December of last year. So what is it? So Chrome for Business has been engineered from the ground up to bring the modern web into an enterprise environment. And Chrome for Business is three things, okay? One, it's the Chrome browser. Fast, simple, and secure. Two, it's a full set of group policies and administrative tools for easy and powerful management across a large organization. And three, it's a customizable MSI installer for simple and scalable distribution to all or some employees. Three things. And when we talk about the Chrome browser, we typically talk about three core features: speed, simplicity, and security. Speed. Chrome is fast. It's fast to load, it's fast to boot up, it's fast to start web pages and apps, and it's fast to search and navigate. And this is good for companies and government agencies. A fast browser boosts productivity as employees spend less time waiting for pages and apps to load and more time working, you would hope. Simplicity. Chrome is really easy to use and it's really easy to learn. For example, tabs let you browse the web and look at multiple pages at the same time, although some would argue that this isn't really good for productivity. You've got your Facebook page open, you've got Google Apps open, you've got CNN open, you're trying to do a million things. Can be convenient, but can also be a little bit distracting, we realize. And security. So Chrome is secure with features that really help protect your company and your computers from phishing and malware attacks. And we think of security in Chrome as having multiple layers. The first is safe browsing, which is a built-in feature that checks a web address against a list of suspected phishing and malware sites It triggers a warning to the end user, letting them know that a site may not be safe. This is safe browsing here. The second layer of security is sandboxing. Sandboxing prevents sites from installing programs on your computer that monitor your activities or steal company information. And the third is auto updates. Chrome checks for updates regularly to make sure that it's always kept up to date. And this means that employees don't have to click to accept a prompt if not implemented correctly, could pose a security threat to an organization. So translation, these are some other features that are sort of built into Chrome and are helpful for organizations. So Chrome was really the first browser to incorporate machine translation. And this is great for companies in non-English speaking areas of the world where most of the web or much of the web is in English and you want to translate that on the fly to your native tongue. The next is sync. This is a neat feature. You can sync browser settings, bookmarks, themes, and other settings between your home and your office PC. So if you have one machine at work and one machine at home, you can sync them so it's all the same browser information. Pretty cool. Extensions. Extensions are little programs that add useful features to your browser and the websites that employees visit. I'll show you extensions. So these extensions to the right of the Omnibox here are some programs that I've installed. This is called Ghostery, which lets me see what cookies are being dropped on my computer. Sorry. There. You see it now? So I can also check the baseball scores by clicking here, see what's going on in baseball. So this is sort of neat functionality that enhances the browser. And the Chrome Web Store. So we've talked a lot about the power of the Chrome browser and a little bit about why having a fast, safe, and secure browser is good for employees. But to really take advantage of all this power, you need applications that let you push the web and the browser to its limits. So we launched the Chrome Web Store in December of 2010. And the goal with the Web Store was really to give end users and business tools that fully exploit the power of the browser in combination with the computer's CPU and GPU. Today, there's more than 4,000 apps and over 13,000 extensions, and it's available in 41 languages to all 160 million Chrome users. So I've spent a lot of time talking about what the benefits of Chrome for end users, but I wanted to talk a little bit about how Chrome is great for IT admins and CIOs. So the first concept is that Google Apps, if you're on Gmail, if you're on Docs, if you're on Calendar, Google Apps work best in Chrome. Gmail features like drag and drop and cut and paste and other editing tools are optimized for Chrome, native support for third-party apps, and it also helps pave the way for Chromebooks, because if it works in Chrome, it's going to work in Chromebooks. And it's really easy for IT departments to deploy and manage. You can deploy to all or some employees really quickly. You can enable auto updates or handle manually. We find that really large organizations like to turn off auto updates and handle it themselves. And you can use group policies and administrative controls to determine what employees can actually do on the web. And Chrome for Business is really easy to customize. You can pre-install apps like Gmail for company-wide distribution. And it's really easy to upgrade. Like I said, some companies turn off auto updates, but a lot of smaller companies tend to leave it on. And deploying is really easy, even for a large organization. It's simply a matter of, one, downloading the MSI, configuring it. It's during this stage that IT admins pre-install apps like Gmail and Calendar for distribution to an entire employee base. And 3, deploy it, roll it out, easy breezy. And one of the most common questions we get is it supported? Is this a supported product? And the answer is yes. It is fully supported. If your company pays for Gmail, you get Chrome support. Really important. So just wanted to run through a couple of examples of companies that are succeeding on Chrome today. The first is a large global marketing agency called Vision 7 International. They're based in Quebec. And they wanted support for Gmail across Macs and PCs. They've got about 30% of the employee base on Macs because it's a creative shop. And because it's a creative shop, they needed advanced graphics. And the IT department really sought to decrease the browser support burden. They're getting a lot of tickets related to the browser. So they rolled out. And the specific configuration was they customized the MSI with apps from the Chrome Web Store. They deployed Chrome for Business across all their employees. They have about 3,000 employees in 12 offices around the world. And what they told us is email load times have decreased by 75%, and our employees are happy. Their employees really liked it. So it really made sense for Vision 7. General Services Administration, big U.S. federal agency, 17,000 employees. They oversee over $500 billion U.S. in assets. It's mostly real estate and government buildings, things like that. And originally they were looking for a cloud-based email and calendar solution. They were not initially looking at the browser until we learned more about what they were looking to do. And we said, listen, we really think you should try Chrome. So they said, okay. And they deployed, and they estimate that they're going to save over $15 million over the next 5 years with Google Apps. And Google Apps is being powered by Chrome at the GSA. So this is a great example of a large federal agency that is benefiting from Chrome today. So I'm going to change the focus here to Chromebooks. And I'd like to introduce this by way of a brief video.
This is a laptop. This is a computer. This has the web. That's weird. Okay, so it's the web. There are no programs? So there's nothing to start up. Then how do I do stuff? There's no messy desktop. So no rolling hills of green. Can I use it anywhere? On a unicycle? My calendars, emails, documents. Everything can be saved to the web. That's crazy. So I could throw this thing into a river, and I won't lose my stuff? It doesn't need virus protection. What about annoying updates? Or patches? Or patches for the patches? So it gets better in real time. I wonder if people are ready for this. It's kind of a new thought.
So as you can see, the basic concept of Chromebooks is to remove all the unnecessary complexity of computing and boil it down to just the web, which is where users spend most of their time. So you get a faster, simpler, and more secure experience without all the headaches of ordinary computers. Virus updating, backing up, system upgrades, all those hassles go away with Chromebooks. Chromebooks are always on. They boot instantly. They're always connected. They have a battery that lasts all day. You can access your files anywhere. They improve over time, and they have built-in security. Now, in most companies today, the IT infrastructure is so complicated, it's difficult to actually account for the layers and layers of software throughout an organization. This is what we hear from our customers. In fact, it's so hard to upgrade an operating system that more than half of all companies out there are using Windows XP. This is an operating system that came out in 2001. It's a decade old, and more than half the companies in the world are using it. And meanwhile, usage patterns have fundamentally changed. 10 years ago, employees used desktops primarily. Now they're using laptops primarily, and they're going in and out of a company's firewall. This creates real security hassles for IT managers. And all this shows up as added costs. We found that most companies spend upwards of $3,000 a year, $5,000, $7,000 US per machine, per user, per year, just to keep PCs going. The good news is that CIOs and IT admins are already embracing the cloud and moving more processing and data into the cloud. And cloud computing is significant and real for the enterprise. And more large enterprise software companies are embracing cloud computing. You see SAP, Salesforce, Google Apps, Oracle, and others rolling out web-enhanced and web-enabled UIs. Research from IDC shows that over 85% of independent software vendors will have a web-enabled or web-only solution by the end of 2012. You're also seeing companies like Citrix and VMware delivering virtualized computing to large groups of employees through the browser. And this week, we announced a partnership with Citrix. That information is publicly available. You can check it out. So when we launched the Chromebook pilot program earlier this year, we had over 50,000 companies apply. And here are some of the companies that ended up participating in the program. Intercontinental Hotel Group, Jason's Deli, and City of Orlando. Kind of interesting. So we're seeing strong demand at all levels of government, federal, state, and local at the city level as well. I think in these economic times where government budgets are being cut, there's just a strong demand for a less expensive way to manage IT. And we conducted a survey of our customers and found that most companies, this is what they told us, could switch 75% of their employees to web-only solutions like Chromebooks today. So as we talked about earlier, most of the costs associated with enterprise PCs comes from upgrades, troubleshooting, adding new users, managing OS images, things like this. And these are essentially administrative and compliance costs. The hardware actually isn't that expensive when you compare it to the labor costs, the administrative costs, the compliance costs of managing these things. So we built a completely new web-based console to help IT admins. It's really simple to use. It lets you add new users, install applications, and enforce company policies. So for the first time, there's a company offering a complete end-to-end solution encompassing hardware, a web console to manage new users, support, warranty and replacements, and hardware updates. It's a pretty interesting model. So I was asked earlier today, this all sounds good. When's it coming? We're interested. We're interested. Where do I sign? It's coming soon. I wish I had a specific timeline for you. We're hoping for 2011. Can't commit to a specific deadline. I will say that Mexico and Brazil are number 1 and number 2 priorities, not in that order. Mexico and Brazil are coming, we hope, in 2011. So today we talked about 3 things. We talked about the history of the web browser and its role in our second subject, which was Chrome in the context, the browser in the context of organizations. And finally, we talked a little bit about Chromebooks. In our experience, the web is what you make of it. We hope you experiment with Chrome at home and at the office and judge for yourselves if Chromebooks might be a good fit for your organization. Thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate it. We're going to take some questions now if you have any questions. Yeah.
what I'm saying is like the same way the Opera used to have a mini version that worked on Java on mobile phones and devices. Have you ever think of doing something like that for like?
Your question is, are you working on it? The answer is yes. We are actively working on it using the web console that we had talked about earlier here as a tool for managing your Android devices. Absolutely, we're working on it. Don't have a specific deadline, but it's a huge area of focus. And it's a real pain point for IT managers who say, I'm not just managing Chromebooks, I also have to manage and keep secure all these different devices. And we're also hearing, yeah, but the CEO has an iPad, and these guys have these machines, and these guys have Blackberries. Those are all things that we're working on. Yeah.
Virtualization solutions like Citrix Server and other ones are most for enterprises, but I was wondering if we are going to see something affordable for the final user. For example, if I want to run Dreamweaver on my Chromebook as a final user, a web designer, am I going to be able to do it? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Que lo diga en español? Bueno, que decía que, por ejemplo, actualmente la solución de virtualización de Citrix y VMware es más para empresas, ¿no? Entonces, por ejemplo, puedes correr Office o lo que quieras, pero para empresas, y no le alcanza al usuario final, no tiene dinero para comprar ese tipo de soluciones. Ahora, por ejemplo, si yo soy un desarrollador web y quiero correr Dreamweaver en mi Chromebook, ¿va a ser posible una solución que me permita hacer ese tipo de servicio a un precio razonable?
It's kind of a tough question. I don't have a simple answer for you. Obviously, there's a web of different relationships. There is Adobe, which owns Dreamweaver. There's Chromebooks, which is a network of relationships in itself. So you're right that Citrix was designed, and VMware was originally designed as a business application. So the consumer applicability, I don't actually know. But I'd like to know more about what the use case is and how you would like to use that. If you have some time to chat afterwards, I'd love to talk to you.
Yes, of course.
So, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to know, what do you think about Rockmelt? I use Rockmelt, that is like a Chromebox based.
Yeah, Rockmelt really skyrocketed about 6 months ago, and I haven't heard much from them. I don't actually know what's going on with Rockmelt. I know that they were sort of a hot startup company in Silicon Valley, but I haven't been paying attention for the last 6 months, so I don't really know. Do you like it?
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Good.
It's like Chrome, but you have like all your social feed.
Right.
And all the stuff is like, and it says like it's Chrome based, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at integrating social features from Google Plus with Chrome. I don't know if you saw when I did the screenshot of my browser, I had the Google Plus extension so that I could +1 a site from within the browser without having to go somewhere else. So we are looking at integrating social features more tightly into the fabric of the browser. But Rockmelt per se, I don't really know.
Okay, one more question about this. About the Chromebook, are you taking like thinking that in Mexico we don't have very good internet connection everywhere? So if I have my computer in a park and I would need to send a document or to work on a document offline, it will be online, so I couldn't access to it.
It's a good question. It's something that we just talked about an hour and a half ago. So two things. One, I think it calls into importance the need for HTML5 based offline functionality that really works well, and it's one of the big areas of focus for the Chrome and the apps teams right now. We are working on offline so that the sync between going online and offline works a lot better and a lot more smoothly. So we are cognizant of sort of the online-offline issue. Chromebooks will be available in Wi-Fi and 3G editions. The 3G is an extra subscription fee with a telco. So, and we're sort of looking into those partnerships in Mexico right now.
Hello. Okay.
Hi.
First, a little comment. The solution, well, the possible solution for his problem could be cloud shared. The thing is, the Chromebook, well, the Chrome team will have to work with a way to get the plugin to work in Linux. But I mean,
Okay.
it will be a great solution for end users. And
Chrome is available. Chrome the browser is available for Linux.
No, what I'm saying, cloud shared plugin only works in Windows
Okay.
at the moment. So if you could partner or whatever, I will be.
You'll be
I will
happy?
be buying the cloud share also.
Okay.
And my question is there a way that you could, or are you partnering in some way with the project called Chrome Plus? The thing is, here in Mexico, one of my biggest hassles in our company is the accounting thing. It doesn't matter
You're the biggest
whatever.
hassle at my company too.
Well, what I mean is, since they have to work, well, they have to deal with it's the IRS in Mexico.
Yep.
All of their websites are only available for
IE6.
Yeah.
Yeah. The number one point of resistance, and when we talk to really large companies, enterprise companies, 10,000 employees, 15,000 employees, they say, but our X department really has Y application that's built for IE6. What do we do? And typically it's finance or accounting. So it's one of those two, sometimes HR, sometimes some project management tools are built in IE6. What we typically tell large companies, we tell them one of two things. One, sorry, go ahead.
No, the thing is, Chrome Plus, I know it's a different product, doesn't have anything to do with Google, but it adds like an IE tab, and it works on Linux. It's cross-platform.
Yeah, so we do have Chrome Frame. So, and that was what I was going to say. So there's two things that we say. One is to deploy dual browsers. So your accounting team can use IE6 just for those sort of old legacy applications and use Chrome for everything else. And sometimes, you know, they like that idea. And the other option is to use Chrome Frame, which is an IE plugin to Chrome. So.
Yeah, but I would love to not have to pay for the license.
It's the other way around. It's
Yeah.
a Chrome plugin for IE.
What I'm saying is I would love not to have to pay for the Windows license and just give them a Chromebook.
I don't want you to pay for Windows licenses either.
But yeah, if I need to use IE, I have to.
Let's chat
Yeah.
afterwards.
Okay.
Any final questions, final thoughts?
Hi. I think Google has been very successful with Android on one side and with Chrome in other side. Are you thinking in a sort of convergence of Android and Chrome as an interface, unified interface for users in the future? Why having two different, why do we have to learn different things instead of only one?
Well, I think that we have a lot to learn, and that's sort of the point. We want to see which systems work better for which form factors, what consumers want. Let's put both of them out there in the market, and also let's make them both open source. Both Android and Chrome are open source projects, so developers can go in and say, well, this platform is easier to develop on. This one is a little bit harder, but it's a little more powerful. This works for notebooks, but not for tablets. Consumers really seem to like this platform, but not that platform. And I think one of the characteristics of Google that makes me really proud to work there is that we're really humble. We don't really know what's going to work. So we said, let's try both. Let's put them both out there in the market, make them both open source, and really see which one works. And at the end of the day, we think that's going to be better for users, for end users.
Just a couple of questions. The first one is Chrome OS it's just going to be focused for end users, right? Not for exactly working.
It is. So there's a whole area of the business dedicated to getting companies up and running on Chromebooks, and it's a different pricing model. It's a different structure, and we are looking at duplicating that in Mexico. Right now, that model is only available in 7 markets: the U.S., UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, and the Netherlands. And that's a subscription model where companies pay per month, and it includes everything from the hardware to support, upgrades, all the services needed to
is that gonna be the model here? I mean, are we gonna buy just one amount of money and that's it, or we're just gonna pay?
We're working on it. I really have no.
Do you have sort of a price?
Answer. Do I have sort of a price? Ballpark? No, I do not.
No.
Okay, we want to say thank you to Campbell.
And I'm here to chat afterwards. If you want to talk, I'm happy to talk further. So thanks again.
Okay, and we want to give you a present from Mexico. So thanks for coming, Campbell.
Oh, thank you. Gracias.